This is the Violent Professional Podcast.
Hey, have you guys ever been in the bathroom taking a big giant shit? You hear a knock at the door, and lo and behold, it's your stepsister coming in to blow you while you're taking a goddamn shit because your parents are gone for the weekend on a fancy vacation? Asking for a friend. How you guys doing? This is episode 98. I feel good about this. I'm gonna do an episode that's basically saying thank you guys and girls and whoever watches this, whatever kind of aliens out there, whatever kind of fucking weird lizard people you are. You listen to this podcast, I truly appreciate it. Thank you very much. You're here. My name's Whiskey Mike. I'm the host of the goddamn Violent Professional Podcast, and I've got an episode where I'm going to be answering questions. This is an AMA. I've perused the questions. I got about 6 of them, picked from various people. And they're pretty good. I hope you enjoy the questions that have been given to me, and I hope I can answer them fully. And I hope I make you guys proud, and like I never made my mama proud. So we're gonna get into it. First, I want to bring your attention to the background. If you're watching the video on some sort of video, or it's on a clip or something, I haven't been really posting in YouTube very much lately. Been pretty bad about that. I will admit it. I've got other shit going on that's pretty important in my life. That big changes. Hold on one second. Son of a bitch. This might be catastrophic. I've got, things happen in my life. It's, the things are messy right now. It's not because things are chaotic and crazy. It's just like I've got to figure out what I'm doing when I grow up. It's an ever-changing story with this guy. It's fucking weird. I wish it would slow down, and it's almost like I haven't figured out what I'm doing when I grow up. It's kind of a pain in the ass. Like, a lot of people plan their shit out, and they have good success at it. Some have better success than others. I am starting to get a hang about what I'm going to do when I grow up. Podcast, right? But work, I don't fucking know. I'm trying to figure it out. I'm trying to do the best I can. And maybe there is no answer to this life of what you're supposed to do. Maybe you're just supposed to float through fucking life. Some of us are supposed to float through life like fucking turds in the toilet, getting ready to be flushed out of existence, all right? Now, I'm doing fine mentally. It's just I got a lot of shit going on. I want to do more episodes, but fuck, man, I got shit going on. All right? Some people think I don't got shit going on. Some people think I got just this fucking podcast, and that's about it. I got a million other things. Things you don't even know about, and I'm not going to talk about it. All right? So look at behind me at the Violent Professional, the Hubert Cumberdale Loyal to the Turmoil flag. You can get that at the violentprofessional.com. I got a store on there with all this merch. I got this. I'd rather be at fucking Sasquatch Town, USA. That's a call back to the fucking Animal Train episode with me and my buddy Mark. Anyway, like I said, this episode is for you guys. That anybody that asks me a question, not anybody. I give it a certain period of time, and then I kind of pick the best ones whenever I do this. And so I'm gonna get into it. I'm gonna try to fucking do my best to answer these questions. I think some of them are pretty hard to fucking get at, but let's just get right into it. All right, this is the fucking Violent Professional AMA. Okay, I'm not naming you because I didn't write down your names. I'm sorry. You can fucking comment if you're this person. I just put them in order. I didn't want to like call out people and be like, "Hey, this dude fucking said this shit." So, this listener wants me to talk about weird fetish. I'm already fucking this up. Talk about weird fetish-like collections, like people that collect toenails or dead skin, hair, and teeth. So these are, they're just asking, I guess this isn't a question, it just said talk about it. Parents, like, I found a bag of my fucking teeth from when I was a kid. My mom was collecting my baby teeth, which is, people do that. That's kind of weird. I have, when I played the Tooth Fairy for my son, he, we put it in a fucking thing and have his teeth. I don't know where they are. There could be teeth in the walls somewhere. I don't fucking know. But there are people that are fucking weird that collect body parts and stuff from themselves. Like there's people that eat metal and random shit. Let me go to this. Let me open this new tab. Not the one. I'm not showing you what's on there. And I'll pick some out from the Google box. Weird fetish. Human remain collection. What am I going to see here? Okay. This is probably going to be bad. The most bizarre collections. Let's get it. This is from oddbee.com. This guy owns a collection of baseballs signed with his own name because he's all he needs. He collects autographs, but not the usual kind. He asked famous writers, artists, politicians, and movie stars to sign his own name. That's kind of interesting. He has 70 autographs, including one by whoever, I don't know who the fuck this is. Oh, and then the dude that did Homer Simpson's voice, and he said, hey, sign my fucking name. That's weird. That's not a human collection. None of these are human collections. What am I looking at? This guy has a bunch of penises. In 1997, a man in Iceland named Sigurdur Hujargathothun decided to open a museum to show the world his eccentric collection, 143 penises from 41 mammals. He's still waiting for a final donation to complete his collection, a human one. Anybody out there wants to donate their penis to a fucking weird, creepy Icelandic museum? I know a guy. Let's see. Guy's got a toaster collection. He's got a big Happy Meal collection. Dalmatian collection. What the fuck is that? I want to find human remain collection. Human body part collection. Human remain collections. I'm not going to that website. These actually all look really bad. Like, don't Google that. Yeah, media restricted for a reason. I'm not fucking doing that. Weird fetish. I'm just going to type in that and get away from this fucking search. The top 10 strangest fetishes. Prepare to have your mind blown. Someone who is totally aroused by cold. How did I get into this shit? This is not a weird collection of stuff. Let me do the weirdest shit people have eaten. That might be a good one. I don't think 5,000 light bulbs, live bees, ashes of a loved one. When someone dies, what's the proper way to honor their memory? A memorial headstone, a donation to a charity, maybe a plaque somewhere. For one woman named Cassie, those things just weren't enough. When her husband died, she began eating his ashes. She would take small finger dips and handfuls of ashes and then eat them. When she wasn't eating the ashes, she was toting them around town. Wherever she went, apparently for Cassie, she wasn't serious about till death do we part. That begs a question. What is, if you were to eat a body part, what would it be? Would it be the ashes from your cremated loved ones? Would you eat a whole penis? Would you eat a bag of dicks? If you were forced at gunpoint to eat a piece of a body, your own body, you were forced to eat your own body, what part would you eat? There's no escape in this one. You got to eat something. You're looking at yourself. Where would it be? Maybe you taste a little bit of the nipple. You get a little down there, but you got hairy nipples. And then it get caught in your teeth, and you're down there craning your neck. You're craning your neck trying to put your cock holster on your fucking perky nipples. You're getting excited because you've never had this experience, and maybe, just maybe, you'll enjoy it. So as you're reaching your head down there, your neck's bending in a manner that is so alien the guy that's holding the gun to you, he's like, holy fuck, I don't know what to look away or start masturbating. I don't know if I'm going to masturbate all over this guy trying to eat his hairy nipples. And so you can't get there quite, but your tongue is long enough after you crane your neck. I'm doing it in a weird way. It's not a great demonstration. I mean, if you want me to eat my nipple on camera, go to our Patreon, sign up, and give me a suggestion. No, it's a suggestion box. You want something to happen on this podcast? I'll fucking do it if I get enough subscribers. It's all for the grab, baby. Give me more followers. I'll eat my nipples on fucking TV. Shit. I don't know. If I had to answer the question, maybe I'd eat my elbow. A little bit of my weenus right here. I'd eat the fucking weenus. Elbow skin? How would you repair that? You'd have to sew it together. I mean, there's a lot of extra weenus right here. You ever play with your weenus? Just give it a tug. Give your weenus a tug. I'll do it. I'm playing with my weenus in front of everybody, all right? There's a lot of skin. I feel like if you eat that, there's more to spare. There's enough weenus to go around, so to speak. So maybe my weenus. I don't think I could reach my nipple. My neck doesn't fucking go that way. It's hard to eat your nipple. I can't even get close. Maybe some of you can, But what would you, if you had, put it in the comments, what would you eat? If you were forced to fucking eat something on your body, what would it be? There's lots of things you can reach with your mouth. But oddly enough, it's hard to reach places on your body unless it's like your fingers. Maybe we're not meant to eat ourselves. Maybe that's the problem. You get a little pancake, dip it in the syrup, and you put it in your hand. Maybe you want to take a bite of your fingers. Who knows? Maybe this is the forbidden fruit, is eating yourself. Huh. Yes, to answer the statement, it's not a question. People do collect toenails. They eat them. They have a fucking plethora of toenails in their closet in a container probably. Not me. I don't have a container of toenails in my closet that I save for a rainy day. I like my snacks with a little bit of crunch. I like them crispy. Okay, moving on. Hope that answered your fucking thing, your question. This one's a good one. I like the what if questions. They're my favorite. If you've heard my other episodes, I fucking love them. What if? The answer is I don't know. What if? What if bass had human-like cock and balls? Human size too. Well, how big is this bass? And where are they located? Where are the bass balls located? Are they on top? He's swimming around and he's and it's on his chin or something. Do fish have chins? It's just two fucking balls. It's hairy, but it's got scales that just and then it's soft underneath. It's a soft underbelly. It's got a little bit of furry fur. It's got a furry fur chin and he's dangling. Or maybe it looks like a fucking monkfish where it's got that big fucking snoz on the top of its mouth. And it's just like a fucking cock and the balls underneath. And he looks like Peter Griffin. He looks like Peter Griffin. I'm not going to try to do his voice, but he looks like Peter Griffin with the big ball chin. Here's another question. I'm gonna pose this back to you, and maybe I'll answer it too. Because that's what we're doing, right? I'm answering fucking questions. We're coming up with hypothetical situations like, what if a fucking fish had balls and a dick? This is like the dick-footed fish people. Those little bastards running around Zeta Reticuli smacking everybody with it. Or where is it? I don't remember what planet, but they run around and fucking rip their dicks off because they don't want to be fucked by the gargoyles that are chasing them on that planet. That's another episode. Don't be weird. Don't say what the fuck is this dude talking about? Some of the people in the comments lately, what does this mean? What does this mean? It's a podcast where I talk about ridiculous concepts. All right, buddy. This is what I'll ask. What if they have fish dicks, but they get hard as well? And how big do they get? And do they squirt goo out of them? There's you gotta this has got to be all encompassing. You gotta talk about all this stuff. I would assume, imagine if you had a scaly ass dick. Like you have scales on your dick and it starts to get hard. It'd be like, it's like growing. And then the scales are there. And then you're just like, oh, I'm so fucking horny. And you've just got fins and you're like, I can't fucking check it. I can't check it. And you're like, you just got the fins and it's like, it's right there. It's right there and you're swimming and it's like the carrot on a string as you're running, or like for the rabbit running with a stick and a carrot makes him run faster. It's like a fish just, and he's got a fucking, just a hard on, he's trying to suck him, but he's got a big mouth, a big fucking fish mouth, and he's like, and he can't do it. Can't do it. I feel like that fish, whew, I'm a fucking exhausted. I was giving you guys all of myself. Now I would feel if I was in that fish's position where I like can't suck my cock and I can't jerk off, and when I kind of like hit it, I got those spikes that just slice the fish dick up, and it's like, oh! I would smash my fucking head into a rock as hard as I could. I would swim. I would fucking swim so fast and fucking smash into a rock. But then, like, if I fucking miss because it's covered in moss and algae it's covered in algae and it's super slick. And I fucking slide across and bend my fish cock. This is a fucking hard life for those little guys. Okay. I think that's the only situation. You said, what if they have it? That is what would happen. It would be on their underbelly, and it would be the same size as a human dick, and it would be right there, and they couldn't do anything about it because their fins are they're just fucking so goddamn horny. They're like as horny as dolphins, and they're just like, oh god damn it, so angry. You know how like salmon get all red and shit when they're mating? They would be like that too. Moving on. Let's go. Talk about homeopathic remedies for anal warts. These are the questions that I'm getting. These are the questions that my listeners want me to fucking answer. Of course they do. It's way more fun than go, how was your day? Would you like to talk about current events? These are way more fun. But it's like they assume I know what homeopathic remedies there are for anal warts. What are you fucking saying? What the fuck are you saying? Homeopathic remedies for anal warts. I'm going to be real honest. Let me look. I've got to, so I understand what this word means. Homeopathic. Homeostasis. What is that? Homeopathic. Just so I know. I get the concept, but it's natural health products. Okay. Fucking shit. Why not just say natural? This is my fucking frustration with the English language. Stop fucking messaging me. I don't know how to read. My frustration with the fucking English language, because I'm as you know, I'm a fucking scholarly individual. I decided to take online schools get my science degree at University of Phoenix online, remote universities, college. I'm taking an English class. I decided to start school all over for some reason. And by the way, this is the last semester I'm taking. I fucking hate school. There's a reason I stopped going. I'm goddamn almost 40, and I'm in college with fucking kids that just got out of high school. Some are super smart, and they're fucking young. They're not even graduated, and they're just like, the running start student. My allergies are acting up. And then they're like, oh, this is a homeopathic remedy for anal warts. Anyway, I don't like the multiple words for a thing. Homeopathic and natural. There's probably like 15 other words. In fact, I just realized I got an assignment where I got to fucking pick a word, pick all the fucking different kinds of words. God damn it. That's due tonight, by the way. But fuck it, I'm doing a fucking podcast episode. Eat my ass, Professor fucking smart guy. Okay. Homeopathic remedies for anal warts. What if you don't want to get rid of them? Why do we have to get rid of anal warts? So fucking, I don't even want to answer this. Well, I feel like there was probably cacti back in the day, and you could scrape your butthole on that cacti. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what anal warts look like. But I mean, they probably look like warts all over shit, like your fucking butt and your balls. But, you could probably sit on a cacti or fucking use some sort of paste of some sort. Maybe a little fucking witch hazel or some rubbing alcohol. Those aren't natural. What about a nice lanolin? You have lanolin-lined underoos. Or you can cut them off with a fucking knife. Cut your warts off with a fucking knife. It's homeopathic, right? Scraping your butthole on a cacti, cutting them off with a knife, lanolin-lined lingerie. Lanolin-lined lingerie. Say that 5 times fast. Lanolin-lined lingerie, lanolin-lined lingerie, lanolin-lined lingerie, lanolin-lined lingerie. Oh, yeah. Okay, I hope I answered your question. That was a good one. Thank you for the anal warts. Thank you for the anal warts. I've answered 3. I've got 3 to go. Talk about torturing someone by retraining them and putting... I think he meant restraining them. You're not a good torturer if you don't know it's restraining. Talk about torturing someone by restraining them and putting their hand in a toaster on the bagel setting. This sounds very specific. Maybe you could tell us about torturing someone on the bagel setting in your fucking toaster. That would hurt. You know, I always thought about like, what is the worst torture? Me and my buddy Mark, we talk about torture, you know. The fucking bamboo shoots underneath the nails. You know, sometimes if I cut my nail too short and I like go to pick up something, it's like, oh, that's hurt. That's a spicy. But you know, I imagine getting a fucking bamboo shoot under there. I kind of, you ever hear the Chinese water torture where it's just like boop boop? I kind of want to experience that, not where I can't get away from it, because it probably hurts pretty bad, but I just want to feel the initial, like, oh, fuck portion of that torture. You know, keeping the head still and water just doop, doop, boop, 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 just on your forehead. That would suck. Or you could, like, strap your fucking dick to a table and you have to stand there and it's like it's got straps down, like they take a ratchet strap and just the cock head is right there. I think we would have worse problems than a water torture by the time it actually started hurting, like the water was supposed to hurt. Your dick's probably falling off from fucking strangulation. So yeah, I don't know about the torture. I assume your hand would burn. And you know, you probably have them strapped to a chair and then like put your hand in it like that, and it's just, you know, wrapped around. Would you take you put their hand in the fucking slot and then wrap the cord around? I don't know how you do it. Tape it to it, duct tape. It would burn your hand. Okay, you want me to talk about it? It'd burn your hand. It'd be hot. You ever see a piece of toast? Your hand would burn. I think that's it. That's a part of the conversation. There's way worse tortures than a fucking, you know, that would hurt. Don't get me wrong. I'm not fucking taking anything away from the fucking bread hand. I'm just saying that there's other tortures. That would be like, I guess it would slowly cook, you know. It'd still hurt. But I think you'd survive it. You know, your hand would come out and fucking be on fire. Fire dog. All right. I'm going to do 2 more. I think I have 2 more. What is it? Two more. And then we're moving on to some alien news. Thank goodness. It's been a while. My alien dad gave me a call and said, add this shit to the fucking sentence. Or into the fucking thing. It's kind of weird how aliens were all the rage. And then now they're not. And now we're distracted by other bullshit. Isn't that weird? Isn't it weird how distracted we get as humans? Everybody's mad at each other on social media. It's crazy. It's really insane if you think about it, how fucking angry everybody is. It's like everybody wants to put everybody's hands in toasters. Nobody minds their business. Everybody's on social media. I get notifications from Twitter sometimes, and like I see some of the shit that like people post on there just to rile everybody up, and just because they have, some of these people have big followings, and so they rile people up by saying like a statement when they fucking repost or whatever they do on Twitter, and then it's from somebody else, and they like go blah 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 blah, and they just do like a one sentence, and then everybody's like, "Rah, fuck you," and then they're all like shit posting in the comments. Like those like some of the really famous people, they have like 20,000 comments in Twitter. It's like nobody's even seeing what the fuck you're saying, and like most of those people are just saying outlandish shit so that they think that they're gonna get some of that fucking drip from the celebrities to get following. And I guess sometimes it works, but it's just crazy. Like, I look at some conspiracy theory online. I look at a bunch of stuff online, some stuff people say, some celebrities that I like. I'm not like a celebrity into celebrities or anything, but like I'm just saying that's who they are. Like, some comics, and they post some crazy shit sometimes, but those are, they're mostly funny. They're not trying to be serious. But like there's a lot of stuff going on about misinformation where it's like how fucking crazy people get. It's like 10 months ago or a year ago, all that misinformation people are saying now is like what was saying then, and vice versa. It's just like everybody needs to calm down, man. They need some hobbies. That's what they need. There's a lot of people I know, not a lot of people that I know, but there's some people I know that like just get riled up about stupid shit and live like weird lives, and it's like people need fucking hobbies, man. If you had hobbies or you were working out or something like that, you wouldn't give a shit about like talking shit to people. Like I have a ton of work, and then I have schoolwork, and then I try to do the podcast every so often, like I am tonight, because I'm in a good fucking mood, and just I have a lot of stuff going on. I'm a father. I'm a father. I'm a mother father. I'm a father. And I talk to my son, try to hang out with him as much as possible. I ain't got time for fucking bullshit. It's sometimes it's funny, and sometimes it's disheartening, and sometimes I just want to stick my goddamn hand in the toaster. A lot of you have nothing going on in your life, and you need to calm the fuck down. Maybe figure out some fucking hobbies. Go to therapy. Figure your shit out. Stop focusing on other people. Other people don't matter. Think of how much time people spend thinking about other motherfuckers and looking at their shit and going, "Oh my god, I'm gonna post something that's not gonna matter or change anybody's perspective, and it's just gonna fire people up, and then I'm gonna get followers from it because I'm fucking cool. I post all this fucking shit on social media. I think it's creative, and people are gonna like it. They're gonna love it, and then they're gonna fucking see my comment in fucking Joe Rogan's post, and then they're gonna follow me, and they're gonna be like, yeah, you fucking told him I like your fucking comment, so I'm gonna follow you, and I'm gonna be like, yeah, I got your followers, bitch. And then I'm gonna keep posting controversial shit that I maybe don't believe in wholeheartedly, and then I'm gonna fucking say like everybody's spreading misinformation, even though I'm doing it too. Yeah, social media is so fucking awesome. We live in these fucking weird worlds, and then I'm gonna join them goddamn Metaverse, which is actually just a video game. They tricked us with clever marketing to get a fucking VR headset so that you play a video game and you don't jerk off to fucking Pornhub with it. That's what's gonna happen. And that's what people do. I'm not saying I fucking do that. I'm not saying I've almost been caught in my bed in a dark room with my fucking cell phone in one of those cheap-ass Sharper Image VR headsets that you gotta fucking move around, and I'm with the VR headset looking at fucking Pornhub VR, and I'm just like, and almost getting caught. All right? Imagine that shit. Imagine that shit. If you're fucking jerking off with a VR headset in your room and like somebody catches you, what do you do? I'm riding a roller coaster. Go away. And you're just like, oh. You're like, fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. You're just like, I love this theme park. Oh, it's so real. Oh, I call this theme park Stephanie. Oh, bro. Just imagine that. I wish that, if I was going to ask somebody questions, I'd be like, what if you were caught in a VR headset watching porn? Nobody talks about that. Why isn't that more of a thing that happens? True story. I have never been caught playing with my wiener. Ever. There's been plenty of times that it's been close, but it's never happened. And God willing, I'm not going to be 80 when it happens. So, comment below if you've been caught jerking off. Actually, don't. I don't want to fucking know. That's fucking dumb. I'll just assume you all have. All right. Moving on. Did I do that one? Homeopathic? Sweet. No, I didn't get into it. I went off on a tangent. Animal tangent. Talk about how fucking dirty it was in the medieval times, where they threw their shit and piss in a street and didn't wash their hands. So what you're saying is, I feel like you know more about this than I. Dost thou noble a pleasant accord? I don't. You want me to talk about it? I assume if they're taking fucking handfuls of piss and shit, it seems like a challenge. It seems like any person with any sort of sense would piss in their hand one time and then fucking go like, hey, you can't carry it. It doesn't work. What are you, pissing in your hand like this? You ever try to piss in your hand into a fucking cupped hand and then fucking throw it out like that? And then they don't wash their hands? I think there's way nastier shit in medieval times. I could talk about when I've been in third world countries and you see that stuff. I could equate it to probably medieval times with no infrastructure and just, it's real shitty. Badooch. Yeah, it had to have been dirty. They didn't really have, I don't know when fucking toilets and shit were invented, but it was dirty. There's a lot of STDs back then. That's why like the Black Plague happened. Fleas infested with the bubonics and rats and shit like that. They're just dirty back then. Nothing you could do. It's not like, it's not like they could control that shit. It's just the fucking, it's a matter of the times, my friend. It's dirty. Or are you talking about the actual medieval times of today? That fucking, the fucking fancy feast where they give you the chicken and the grog in that fucking metal container and you're slamming it down. And then they got the booth and you vote for the green knight or the fucking blue knight or the fucking black knight because you're progressive and shit. And then, like, they joust and then it's, they joust and you feast. You joust and you feast. And then when you go to the bathroom, they tell you to fucking piss in your hand and shit in your hand and then you got to throw it in the street. And that's part of the show. Because it's medieval times, and it is so realistic. They make you piss and shit in your hands, and you throw it in the street, and it was dirty. It was fucking dirty, actually. I don't know if they had streets either at that time. Maybe they were fucking cobblestone roads, where they gallivanted gleefully in the autumn mist. All right, last question, and then we're gonna move on. We're gonna get to some fucking new discoveries. Not nude discoveries. New discoveries. Some fucking weird animal. All right. It's not of this world. Or maybe it could be of this world. These questions are odd because they're asking me to talk about something. And it's like you assume that I'm an expert in anal warts, the medieval times, and fish cocks. It's like you assume, and like I collect human remains. Come on now. Let me go back on this one. Fetish-like collections, like people that collect toenails or dead skin, hair, and teeth. I assume that they also eat them. That's why they collect them. There's no other reason that you don't just look at that kind of stuff. You eat it. I think it's, talking about recycling a lot, being good to the environment. It's just good manners. It's common courtesy for your common man, you'd fucking eat your fucking eye boogers. Is there anybody out there that collects eye boogers? Comment below if you do that. Talk about why. This is the last question. It's the last one. I'm not doing it anymore. I'll save the others for a rainy day. It just so happens to be a rainy day, but not this day. Probably tomorrow or something. Maybe I'll record a couple episodes this week. I don't know. Talk about why some people have wiener-sized thumbs and the rest of us have normal thumbs, and the pros and cons of having either. Like wiener thumbs can get line out of a. I'm just reading what they wrote. Like wiener thumbs can let line out of a deep water trolling reel better, but Mr. Normal Thumbs can use a soldering iron without burning themselves. What the fuck? I feel like this is very specific. Are you Mr. Torture? Is that the Toaster Torture? Bring out the toaster. I feel like you can combine all this shit into like the medieval times too, like dick fishes, fish dicks, and then fetishes and human cock and balls on fish and fucking dirty ass shit torturing with the toaster and homeopathic remedies for anal warts. It's a fucking new banger. I have known people with those fucking hammer thumbs, and I'm sure some of you out there have those hammer thumbs. I don't want to offend all the hammer thumb people, but you got weird fucking thumbs, all right? I feel like you do have pluses, though. You know what's weird? People that have those hammer thumbs that are left-handed. That's a fucking oddity. That is a mysterious. I feel like people with those thumbs are great. Like they could, they could get a lot of page turning going on. You need a page turn, call up old Mr. Bigthumb. He'll fucking take a big old lick of that big old thumb and then fucking take a big old thumb of that page and just flip that in a big old way. This guy says some very specific things. Are you leaving us clues? Are you leaving us? Is this a murder mystery that you're putting into this episode? I said, hey, ask me some questions. Ask me anything. And this guy's like, I'm going to put some fucking secrets out there into the fucking atmosphere, into the radio waves, into the fucking YouTubes, into the video, and into this fucking element, and onto this nice, fine alpaca Mexican table. I mean, it's a fucking nice little alpaca blanket. Now you're putting all that shit on my lap, and now the fucking FBI is going to come to my abode and ask me questions and be like, hey, who's this toaster guy with the big thumbs? It's like big game of Guess Who. It's like, does he have big thumbs? It's like, yes. And then he flip over all the people without big thumbs, and he's like, does he have burn marks on his big thumb from a toaster? Oh, it's funny that you mention it because he does. I think this guy's in luck with the big thumbs. It's going to be real hard to get that fucking hand inside that toaster to torch you. Yeah, very specific. His name's Mr. Normal Thumbs. You have something against normal thumbs? And then you say, like, the rest of us have normal thumbs? Are you pretending? What's the pros and cons of having either? I assume that you're fucking dumpy ass big old thumbs. You're walking down the hall and you're like, hey guys, and like you're just waving because that's how you fucking talk to me. You're like, hey, my name's Jeffrey, and you're just like, look at my big old thumbs, and it's like the momentum of you just walking. Like normal people walk like this. They're like, I'm on a mission to get somewhere. I've got things to do. I've got checks to cash. next to break. And then these fucking dumb, dopey-ass fucking big thumb people are just like, I can't control my arms because there's so much weight at the base of my hand. What's going on, guys? And they're like, hey! They're like, dude, you can stop waving. It's like, I'm trying. The centrifugal force is not allowing me to. I might break my fucking wrist if I stop. Oh! That's what, I mean, that's the con of having big old thumbs. You got a lot of weight down there. You know? The pros, you could probably knock somebody out with that. You could take it from you're a construction person, you just smash the nail into the fucking wood. You're building houses in no time. Con, can't stick your finger in your butt. It's a little bit, it's a little bit personal. Con, also, you can't put on a sweet thumb ring when you're getting your fucking affliction shirt and getting into Flavor Town. Can't do that. I don't know what's the deal with the soldering iron. I'm very confused by your fucking statement. Anyway, I answered your questions. I hope you enjoyed that. Speaking of fucking hammer thumbs, we're going to get into fucking a little tale about the hammerhead flatworm. Because I'm fucking a scientist. So I'm going to talk to you about this fucking hammerhead fucking flatworm. It's disgusting. If you want to go see a fucking picture of it, there's Google. You can search that shit. I don't even like it looking at it. If you've heard me talk in the past, I get fucking creepy crawlies all over my skin. My hair's standing on edge. There's a picture of it right there. I don't even like looking at it. I don't like bugs. Bugs haven't done shit to me. It's not like I was tortured as a kid with bugs. I don't fucking like them. If there's a bug in the presence, my hair stands up. But I can hold them. That's the weird part. Like, I'll pick a beetle up. There's a beetle walking around. There's a fucking, I think what the deal is, and I want to, if I'm thinking correctly about this situation, why am I so creeped out by bugs? Not that I'm afraid of them. I'm like, oh, and I get scared. I used to live, if you heard me talk before, I lived in New York, and I lived on this creek in a place called Accord, New York. And I was living along the Rondout Creek, I think it was called. The Esopus or some shit like that. Not the Esopus, that was in another house. But in that area of New York, in Ulster County, New York, if you know it, it's great. It's near West Point and Newburgh and all these fucking fancy places of New York. In the summertime, these fucking monstrosities called Hellgrammites would come out of the space. They would come out of space, and if you don't know them, fucking look them up. They're the most hideous fucking flying pterodactyl type bug ever. They've got big. They're like I'm talking about it. I fucking hate it because they would swoop at you, and they were like this long, about the size of this fucking microphone at times. Big, and they look like centipedes with these big ass claws and these big fucking teeth. They look like aliens, and they have these giant fucking dragonfly wings, and they make the weirdest sound, and I can't remember exactly what it is, but you can go I'm sure you could go on the internet and find what these fucking things sound like. It's hideous, and they have these big eyes, and fucking I feel horrible right now talking about it because I just feel like there's one in the room. But they used to, you go outside in the summer in like fucking June and July, and they would just go and like fucking swarm the fuck out of you. And they were terrified me because as a little kid, those fucking things would look like monsters. There's no monsters under my bed. There's monsters outside of my house. I can't go play in the summer sun. Can't go do that with Hellgrammites running around. They usually come out of the fucking river and the creeks. And they're the fucking most hideous, ugly fucking things. And so that's probably why I don't like bugs. And they make my skin crawl. All right? And so I decided to talk about a fucking flatworm. Okay? This is disgusting. But I'm going to go through it. Okay? This is from livescience.com. Hammerhead flatworms are often described outside their native range. That's not a good start. Scientists have discovered an alien hammerhead flatworm species that looks a bit like a miniature king cobra or perhaps an itty-bitty snake with a mustache. The researchers found the tiny creatures hunting snails in France and Italy, and they named the invaders after the COVID-19 pandemic, according to a new study. These new hammerhead flatworms are among two newly described species found in countries that researchers believe are non-part of their native regions, so they were very likely introduced there by humans. Why are you walking around from France and Italy with fucking worms in your pockets, you creep? Do you also torture people with fucking toasters? Do you fucking collect their body parts and eat them? Do you have hammer thumbs and then they can't fucking fish? Very specifically, scientists. Oh, yeah, you're walking around with worms in your pockets and going to other countries? Why are you doing that? What's up, guy? You've got a vendetta against other countries that you bring a pocket full of worms? It's not very nice of you. There's a pandemic going on and you're bringing fucking worms? What guy brings the fucking worms? It's the same type of shit of somebody fucking torturing someone with a goddamn toaster. Scientists dubbed the first soil-dwelling predator species Humbertium covidium. Oh, sounds like Hubert fucking Cumberdale. I don't like that. It must be Thomas's. Thomas is up to no good. He's fucking naming worms after old Hubert Cumberdale. This motherfucker, he's got pocket full of worms. I knew that motherfucker was shady. Of course he has pocket full of worms. Why the fuck wouldn't he? Of all people, fucking Thomas has got fucking pockets full of worms. That stupid son of a bitch. Covidium. So Humbertium covidium with covidum. I can't read this. Humbertium covidum with covidum being a reference to COVID-19 as a homage to the numerous casualties of the pandemics because of much of the 55-page study that was written during lockdowns. So they're paying a homage to people that have died from COVID-19 by naming a fucking worm in their honor that eats snails? What the fuck kind of shit is this? Here's a scientist. Let's hear what the scientist has to say. Let's hear his fucking excuse for picking this name to honor. If he just said, yeah, we called it the fucking Latin version of that, so that, which by the way sounds bullshit, but they pick a Latin name and be like, yeah, we fucking wrote this fucking paper based on this worm that eats snails, and that's why we did it. But no, they didn't. They went after the fact that they were talking about the fucking victims of COVID-19. We're going to name you after a worm that eats snails. It's a predator worm that gets carried in pockets to other countries. Due to the pandemic, during the lockdowns, most of us were home with our laboratories closed. I'm going to do this in a British accent. Due to the pandemic, during the lockdowns, most of us were home with our laboratories closed. No field expeditions were possible. Lead author Jean-Louis Justine, a professor at the Muséum National d'Histoire Naturelle, National Museum of Natural History, that's a tongue twister, in Paris, said in a statement, I was convinced my colleagues to gather all the information we had about these flatworms due to the computer analysis and finally write this very long paper. You sound like a scientist. Typically found in warm parts of Asia, hammerhead flatworms are accidentally transported around the world by humans and soil from the plant trade. These flatworms can reproduce asexually. For the fucking unsmart people in this, they fuck their own pussies with their worm cocks. These flatworms can reproduce asexually. So one hammerhead flatworm can give birth to offspring without a mate, making it easier for them to establish themselves as an invasive species. They're from France, and they fuck themselves. These worms fuck themselves. You think the dude carrying around the mustache worm in his pocket, old Hubert Cumberdale worm, they're carrying him around and they're fucking themselves in the pocket. What if they get into an orgy? Do they like fuck the other worms and then they fuck themselves? They like finish them and then finish themselves off, and then they make baby worms that start fucking themselves, and everybody's just fucking themselves, and everybody can go fuck themselves. I guess it's a metaphor for what's happening with the Covidium Huberdale Cumberdale fucking worm. It's basically an homage to to the fucking scientists to tell everybody go fuck ourselves. Is that what it is? Is that what you're telling old Hubert Cumberdale? First, you name him after me, and then secondly, it's a fucking worm, a creepy, crawly fucking worm. You name it after this. I got to deal with fucking goddamn shit, and you're telling me about fucking how you're naming a fucking worm after me and the COVID-19 victims. Get fucked, all right? This is definitely Thomas's doing. He'll rue the day that he ever fucked with old Hubert Cumberdale. The evolutionary history of the old flathead worm. Fucking. Oh, this article was written by a flathead worm named Peter Pastor. What the fuck his name is? He's a staff writer. It's like a fucking. He's wearing an outfit. That trench coat is filled with 15 fucking Hubert Cumberdale worms. They're all standing with the trench coat and they're moving around. You open the trench coat and the fucking worms fall out. It's like, we wrote this fucking awesome article. You never catch us alive! Ah! And then they start fucking each other and themselves and then eating snails. Where'd you get all the snails? Anyway. Well, this was a good time. I'm really glad you guys took this trip with me. I feel on point for this episode. It was a good one. And thank you all for the questions. I hope that we get some more in. You don't have to wait for me to fucking ask for questions. If you want to fucking hear me say some ridiculous shit or talk about some ridiculous concepts and ideas, send them my way. Email me, which I won't check because it's probably buried with fucking old spam porn. All right. Some news about the podcast. We have, we've been through the ups and downs of figuring this shit out, getting a new setup. All right, getting the right sound equipment. I realize this room's a little echoey, but it bothers me. When I edit this shit, it bothers me. Hope it doesn't bother you guys too much. I do my best to try to edit and get rid of some of that fucking echo, but it is what it is. Can't win them all. Just trying to put out some content for you guys. Over the course of time, there's been plenty of people that I've ran into that talk about podcasts, and they think it's interesting I have one. And oddly enough, some of those people listen to the podcast that I do, and they think it's funny, and then they ask me questions about it, and they're interested in, in my travels. I run into a few people that are interested, and they want to know how they can start one. And so I've helped a few people start podcasts and what equipment they should buy and whatnot. But what I'm trying to say is that while that's all well and good, and I enjoy telling people what I have as far as equipment, which I think I should probably put a list on the fucking website. You can go check it out. If you want to start a podcast, go ahead. We could use more of them, right? There's only like fucking 300 million of them out here. I've recently been approached by somebody that wants to not only start a podcast, but wants to go under the Violent Professional Podcast banner. So how does that work? What does that mean? It essentially it means that we're probably starting a podcast network through the Violent Professional. I don't know what that looks like yet. I just it started all coming together, and then we have another podcast that we're going to be putting together for the network. So we're going to essentially have 3 shows, and then who knows, maybe more after that. If you're interested in being a part of the network, hit me up, DM or whatever. But it's just in the early phases and the early stages of coming up with ideas for it. So we don't have a name for it. I can kind of conceptualize in my fucking brain what I'm going to do with it, how we're going to fucking manage it, market it, and get everybody cross-promoting and getting this fucking this huge network of I'm rolling. The one of the episode of the dude I'm talking about, he's got a great idea, and I'm really fucking interested in seeing how it develops over time. I'm helping with some of the infrastructure on the setting it up, the equipment, and essentially what's going to happen with it, and how how it's going to be run into my workflow and get his episodes out through the distribution network. So I'm super excited about it. And then you may have heard me talk about it with the episode with Mark, that there's like a improvisation podcast storytelling thing that we're going to be doing. And then we'll see in the future what happens with it. It may be bigger or it may just go away. Who knows? Everything's up in the air. Anyway, I got to take a shit. And maybe my stepsister will come in and blow me. But before I do, I'm going to tell you about our current requirements for all of our fans to go to fucking Spotify and give us a good rating, a 5-star rating. Hopefully, if you appreciate the fucking podcast, you appreciate my zany, wacky fucking humor or anything else. If you like anything about this, please go to Spotify and give us a good rating. The more ratings we have, the better a chance we have of getting pushed up to the ranks and getting more listeners and making this fucking thing grow, because that would be awesome. So I need your help on that. Please, if you have time and energy and you have Spotify, please go there and give us a good rating. Thank you. Also, you can follow us on any of the other stuff. SoundCloud, Spotify, YouTube, fucking we're on iTunes, we're on fucking iHeartRadio. We're all over the place. Just search us out. And if we're not on one, let me know that you search us up there on fucking Amazon Music. You don't find us on Amazon Music, just let me know. I'll try and fucking figure out if we can get on there for more platforms. It all helps. It all gets you guys, it'll get you baby birds the content you want to fucking hear. And if you believe in this podcast, you believe in the power of the Death Cheetah, and you like listening to the episodes in any way, shape, or form, even if it's one you've listened to, and you're like, what happened to the first 10? I like the fucking stuff at the beginning. Well, I don't. I'm deleting them, all right? But if you like this podcast, you want to see it grow, and you want to help me out, you want to help me help you listen to the shit you want to listen to, one, you could send us a fucking comment and say, like, hey, talk about this on an episode, and I most likely will. I'll fucking talk about it, because as you know, if you've listened for any more amount of time, I talk about whatever the fuck is on my brain. So if you have suggestions about what we can do with this podcast, hit me up in the comments on any of the social media, all right? You could sign up on Patreon for as little as $1, and you get fucking different kinds of content and fucking perks over there. And then also, you can get some fucking merch, baby. That fucking helps as well. And even if you don't want to do any of that stuff, you can go buy some energy drinks from Strikeforce Energy. There's fucking the codes all over the fucking place. You can look at use Evil Vibes at checkout. evilbribes.com. No, use Evil Vibes in checkout and you get some money off. And we got a discount code for a bunch of stuff, and I can't remember off the top of my head, but go buy some Strikeforce Energy. Support them. Support the podcast. It all helps. And yeah, by supporting our sponsors, you support this podcast, and we truly appreciate it. Thank you for fucking listening, and see you next time.